Welcome to Your Next Level Now with your host, Bob Donnell. As a human behaviorist, Bob has helped people from every walk of life reach their next level, both personally and professionally. Whether a celebrity, professional athlete, or entrepreneur, Bob has helped them align their behavior with their desired result in their life and career. This is Your Next Level Now with Bob Donnell.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Your Next Level Now. And I just want to tell you guys that sometimes you get to meet somebody that you weren't expecting. You had no idea. And you get to have a conversation with somebody because of something that you posted or something they posted, and you just have this opportunity that's presented. And a lot of times those opportunities come at really strange times. The gentleman that I'm going to introduce you today is Justin Breen, and Justin is one of those guys that has a mind that is well. If you guys ever seen the movie A Beautiful Mind, this guy has the ability to dissect things in a rapid pace and really explore things in a different way, in such a way that he can actually make suggestions and recommendations on a very, very quick notice based on how he observes you, how he observes your business. And basically, I love what he talks about with patterns. We're going to talk about patterns today, pattern recognition, and we're going to talk about who you are being more important than what you do. It's one of the next level pillars we teach here a lot. Who you are is more important than what you do, because who you are will determine the quality of anything and everything that you do. So, Justin, welcome.
It's I don't believe in randomness. Things are just meant to be, and very grateful to be here. My empathy is on full alert right now. I think about your daughter, think about her, and then did you meet the people where her organs went to them? Have you met them?
No, it's up to them, and none of them have been willing to meet. So
But you know where the organs.
I know what their organs went to, but I don't know anything about the people other than what I described.
I mean, it's the ultimate. It's my favorite book is Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl, because it's the ultimate, and I don't understand excuses or people who make them. It's very confusing to me. And you're like the ultimate. I mean, it's not funny, but God Almighty, I mean, your life, the challenges, God just said, or whatever it is, they're just like, hey, let's put this guy and just challenge him to the ultimate. Like, let's just continue to pound, like, and I mean, so many things have happened to or for you, but what your daughter's life and how it continues with other lives, I think that's representation of what life is in a tragic, beautiful way.
Great. Thank you for saying that. I really do appreciate it. And I do know that you have you rate 0 on empathy, you said.
For people like us, I have endless empathy. Right. But anyone who makes an excuse like you could I mean, life could have easily ended for you by your own doing after what has happened in your life, and then instead you created purpose-driven, if you want to call it a business or a community behind that. And for people like us, my empathy is like off the charts, and I have to be very careful. I'm aware of it because it will prevent me from doing anything. It will literally stop me. So that's why I'm having a hard time communicating, because it's like, I mean, that's I mean, your brother, you have a grandchild, you never knew your dad. Did you ever meet your dad?
Don't even know who he was.
Don't even know I mean, your mom died when you were young. Like, I mean, good Lord. And then there are 4 things that separate people like us from humans. Where people like us aren't really human, but there are 4 things. 1 is bankruptcy, potential bankruptcy. 2, depression. 3, highest level of anxiety you can imagine. 4, likely and or possible traumatic experiences as a child or young adult. So you're like the ultimate all 4. I mean, you don't have to answer that, but like, and then you're the, most people I talk to are at least 3 of the 4. The really quote unquote successful ones are almost always all 4. And then they take those 4 things and to create something out of it. To help others, because like where else is there to go? I mean, you can answer that if you want, but I don't know. So you could make
No,
something.
I appreciate it. I definitely definitely acknowledge the pain. Everything that I've been through. I always look at it as the price paid. Everything that
That's
you
a
and I
hell
have
of a
gone
price,
through
man.
is the price we've paid to be who we are today.
That's the price. The well, that's Earl Nightingale, Pay the Price. That's one of
Yep.
his
Yep.
yeah. Is that where you got that from, or is that like
No, it's something I created on when I started saying, is this an expense or is this an investment?
there's no expense, no expenses, anyone who asks me what do you cost or charge, I'll never talk to them again because they're living in expense. There's no expense. There's only investment. Only. And everything. You are the example of this. Talk is meaningless to me without an example. You're the example of like, well, okay, figure it out. Um, so, and losing a child, especially that way,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry for continuing to
No.
talk about it, but I only talk about it because like that's what it is. Like you're like that's what a visionary is. Like you're the example of that. So, and if people don't understand that that's what it is, then that they're not a visionary. They're not capable of understanding it. But that's what entrepreneur life actually is. You're the
Yeah.
representation of that.
I love that. Thank you for saying that, and thank you for sharing. I appreciate
Oh,
that.
you're welcome. Yeah.
You have just such a vast story. I love the story that you have. I love the story, the way that you share it. More important than the story is what you've done with it.
Right.
I
Exactly.
love
Same
that.
with you. Same with you.
Yeah. I love some of the things I picked up on when I was talking was when I was listening to you, um where you just had so many great little notes and nuggets. This idea that the regular humans, first time I heard you say it, I'm like, nah, I gotta rewind that and say, is that what he meant to say?
Oh, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely it was. Can you define why you use the word or the term regular humans?
Because people like us are aliens, usually within our own family, community, and verticals. The only people that understand us are visionaries. And there's nothing wrong with regular humans. I mean, most of the world, like if everyone was like us, it'd be a disaster. I mean, it'd just be complete chaos. I, you know, I, um, my entire days with my family are talking to people like us and connecting them. And then, it's always an interesting thing going out like I run 6 days a week, so I'll just run outside. It's the same rectangle, and then you'd look at the people, working on the electric poles, or someone fixing the street, or a teacher escorting students into classroom. I don't know, street sweeper, a landscaper. So, and you're just like, well, and that's, it's it's like a factory. It's like the world's like a factory of people. And then, people like us are just kind of floating around through it, observing, and then hopefully recognizing the patterns in it. And people like us have the most damage, but with the highest IQ, EQ,
So true.
hustle, courage, guts, intuition. And most people, they just don't have that. If they did have that, they wouldn't be fixing the street, or they wouldn't be doing that. They wouldn't. They would, and that's fine. Um, and we all have gifts. And most people they don't have the intuition or understanding to even know what they are. And then um, what's really sad is if they do know what they're good at and then they don't do anything about it. I don't understand that at all. It's confusing to me. So you've been given these gifts with all the things that have happened, and
Right.
okay, create something out of it. Like, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. And the word regular humans, I got it for what it was.
It
Um,
is what it is. I mean, that's
and
what
I,
it
and
is.
I loved it because it's like,
Right.
we entrepreneurs are a very unique breed. There's no doubt
Correct.
about
Yeah.
it. But I love the distinction that you make in entrepreneurs, business owners.
Yeah.
And you're very specific about the difference between those two.
Sure. Well, it's communication is important because it's a radio frequency or a signal that you send out, and you want to make sure that the right people understand it, and just as important that the wrong people don't understand and then don't want to communicate, because if you're communicating with wrong people, it's a one-way conversation into nothing, that doesn't go anywhere, and it leads to more conversations that lead to nothing that don't go anywhere. So I mean, I don't know about you, that seems like not a good idea, but um, so I guess I think it was a question, but to answer your question or to look at things, like I can see patterns in things, and then you already answered it with how you talked about the investment and what you've been through, but it's not an expense. Um, it was painful, and it always will be painful, but it's an investment. So visionaries look at things like that. They look at things as investments, not expenses or costs. That's that's where the fake visionaries get stopped, because there are only
Mhm.
three attributes. One, they're visionaries, not business owners, not humans. Definitely, they don't think about revenue or employee count or office space. They think about connectivity, purpose, time with loved ones. That visionary. They see things before other people. That's definitely you. Um, I see certain things before others, and I'm like, oh, you just do that. But okay, so then two, full abundance, no scarcity, no excuses. I mean, you you could easily be the most scarcity filled person on a planet, but no, you're just full abundance. Okay, so and then three again, where the fake visionaries get stopped. The fake visionary looks at things as cost. They act like they're a visionary. They act like they live in abundance, but they still live in cost, expense, scarcity world, or uh, what do you charge world? That you can't be a visionary if you look at things like that. You can't, because you're your own limiter. And if you're your own limiter, how do you send out the right communication to attract people that don't have limits? So
Hmm.
it's pretty simple pattern. And so
Yeah, I really love the way you're very clear and direct, which is the way I am as well.
yeah,
I love to be very direct, but I also love to. I believe that you draw your boundaries, you draw things hard in the sand, and it makes it easy for people to say yes or people to say no.
correct.
And it makes it easy for me to say yes and me to say no to an event or for somebody inviting me to a business opportunity or a coaching or whatever.
Right.
And I think what I love about what you're talking about or what you've been talking about as well is that you have to have that in advance. It's not something you figure out on the fly.
Takes years, decades.
Yeah, it takes years. I have a thing called what I talk about criteria, and I want to get your take because for me, criteria is based on behaviors and characteristics.
Hmm.
So it's not so much an avatar; it's about the characteristics and behaviors of the individual. So once I've identified what my characteristics and behaviors are that I'm looking for, I can formulate questions that will help me identify that in a moment's notice when I'm talking to somebody.
Yes.
Um, how hard was it for you to come up with your criteria when you started? I mean, you started this business what 6 years ago now? It looks like.
2017 with zero business background. I basically still have zero business background. Like I don't even think about that stuff. But
I love the fact that you say you don't know what an S corp is and you don't want
I
to know.
don't. Why would no? That's a bad criteria. So okay, so or criterion, sorry. Oh, whoops. Okay. Oh yeah, criteria is okay. So here, so I like to look up things to see what they mean, because words came from somewhere, right? Okay, so like people like say these words and then many times they don't know what they mean, but All right, so criteria is a principle or standard by which something may be judged or decided. So, okay, you have a principle standard, and then you can judge or decide whether or not you want to hang out with these people. And then, but the hard part has been like, of course it's hard because, so I'm 46. I spent most of my life talking to people who had no idea what I was talking about because I had a certain principle or standard by the way I talked and communicated, and it was going into nothing because I hadn't found the right people. But you don't stop. Like what?
Right, right.
You just keep going. You never stop. I don't understand that. You keep going. And so our sons are 11 and 9. My wife and I have been married since 2008, and we've been together for almost 20 years. And I feel like now my life is really just starting because, again, I'm 46, because I've really now found the right criteria of the right principle and standards of people. And then when you find that, and then you know what questions to ask, uh, um, it's really hard at first to find people like us. Like most people actually never find people like us. They're talking to, I mean, if they're like us, they're just talking like this, and people are like, whoa, okay, you know. But once you find them, it becomes pretty easy because people like us want to introduce you to people like us because they want that same standard or principle. They don't want to like judge others. They just want to hang out with people where they don't have to do that anymore. That's the point. They just want that free flow thing.
Well said. Well, so I think the idea of for me for criteria is for me to just be able to say yes and no quickly. You know, they either match or they don't match, and I don't get emotionally involved in it not or it.
Why would you get you lost a daughter? You've lost you never knew your dad. Your mom died when you were young. Grandchild died. You were in a coma. Why would you care? Like, I mean, I guess you could, but like, why? Why would you waste your time on that?
True, very true. But think about the world. How many people are
I
out
don't
there?
think I don't think about that.
Think about them at all, huh?
No, never have. But then I've never understood it. I guess I think about it when I run in my rectangle or whatever, but hi puppy. But I don't it's confusing to me. It's a totally confusing, but you do think about it or you don't.
I think about how the world is impacted and influenced.
I would agree with that. Well, that's why I'm so focused on spending time with my family and connecting people like us to people like us, because people like us help everyone else. That's
Correct.
it. Right.
True.
I don't think about the result of the connections. I just know it will help people.
Yeah, I really appreciated that when I was reading and listening to you talk about it. That you're very clear on what it is you're going to achieve by making the connection, and that's making the connection.
Making the connection. That's it. Figure it, and then a visionary will do. So I rarely meet one-on-one with people, but I did earlier today. And he's pure visionary. Oh my God. And I mean, basically during our discussion, we created a new company for him because he's like, oh, the way you made me think, I could do this with this. I'm like, well, yeah, of course. And then I'm like, oh, well, I can introduce you to people that can help you with that. And then you do whatever they want with it. I just know I have the right principle and standards that attracts the right people.
Yeah.
But again, very hard. Years, decades, life.
Yeah.
But that's what life is. Right. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
People will you know, when I'm talking to entrepreneurs and they're like, I'm looking for a certain type of business or a certain type of client. I go, well, tell me the personalities and characteristics. And they'll want to go into avatar. Well, medium age of X. And,
What? Medium age? What are you talking about?
Yeah, they'll go median age of 30 to 45.
Nothing to do with age.
Agreed. But don't you find that most people are kind of looking at they're keeping the eye on the wrong ball?
Not in my world. But yes, most people are because they're winning the wrong game and they're living in material their world thinking, linear thinking. I ignored that. I've ignored that world even when I was the only one who thought like that. Like I still didn't understand it. But no, of course. But by the way, I don't think most people are capable of changing that mindset, because if they were, then they would do it. I would think they would.
What would be the
Maybe not.
precipice for somebody needing deciding to change their mindset?
Uh,
I mean,
Man,
I
that's
went through
something I've
your
thought
list of
about.
4, right? Your
I've
list of
thought
4
about it,
things.
man. Well, you're in all 4, and then you've never made. I don't think. I mean, I just can't imagine you ever making an excuse. Maybe when certain horrible things happen at first, but then you're like, okay, well, where do I learn from this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's the great question, because I've always felt and believe you're either born someone like us or you're not.
Hmm.
I mean, but if you are born like this, I do think you can learn that mindset. Um, well, I know you can, from firsthand, and then just hanging around people with that mindset. You can learn it, and you can and get better at it every day. But I mean, if everyone was born like us, nothing I don't think would ever get done. But but I think people want this kind of life, but they're not willing to pay the price.
Mm-hmm.
They're not willing to do it, or
Agreed.
they can't do it. I don't think they can. I with what you've gone through, I don't think most people would be coming. Well, they wouldn't be doing what you're doing, and then they just wouldn't.
Hmm. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I do receive that, and the reason I say thank you for sharing that is because I want to acknowledge there was a long time that I just kind of went, oh, thanks. Like, okay, what am I supposed to do with that?
No, I
Somebody
understand.
said,
Totally
somebody,
understand that.
yeah, and then somebody coached me and said, Bob, you need to be really responsive to what somebody says like that,
Right.
because they
Yeah,
mean
so
it.
that's called Asperger's, by the way. My wife's like, don't stop diagnosing people, but like, so she's a pediatrician, warmth, harmony, love, kindness,
Right.
whatever. And so she taught me how to say thank you. I didn't even know. And like for years, people would be like, "Oh wow, you did really thank me." I'm like, okay. Uh, in love language, I'm 0.0 in gifts. Do not never buy me anything. I don't want anything.
Really.
No, just I don't want anything. Like, cause it's material stuff. But like, no, I completely understand that. So thank you for that nice compliment. And then you're welcome for me saying thank you to you or something like that.
I love it.
Yeah, but it's funny, right? Yeah.
That is funny. You know who Walter O'Brien is?
No, tell me.
The guy who was loosely founded on the show Scorpion,
Okay, let's
and
see.
he's like this genius IQ. And one night we were having dinner, and I asked him, I said,
Let's look. Oh
empathy.
God,
He says,
this guy.
empathy.
Yeah,
Oh,
what's
empathy.
empathy? What is that? Does this guy have
Empathy.
a family?
That I don't know.
Let's look.
And he says,
IQ that high can be very damaging. And let's see here. Personal life. I don't see any family here. It would not surprise me if he did not have a family.
yeah, it was a really good comment. We probably spent about 3 hours just sitting in a hotel lobby talking.
Okay.
And the conversation, he said, yeah, he goes like, I have zero empathy. Like, here's
No,
my IQ, EQ numbers. And there
right?
was a 0. And I
Yeah,
said,
zero.
but you're sitting, you're smiling, and you're laughing, and
He learned how to do that. He just
he
faced.
goes, I can compensate
Yeah,
for
he's
the
of
lack
course.
of, because of my IQ, I can
Yes, he
compensate
learned
for
how
my
to do
EQ.
it. I
Yeah.
understand that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. So people like that love me because I can see right through them. I already knew that, and I've never met him or heard of him.
Right.
But his IQ, I don't know what it is, but when you get over 160, which his has to be based on what he's done, there's like no human understanding. You can like I know a 173 IQ. He has a human girlfriend, but he won't even go out in public with her because he can't pretend. Oh, he's a 197 IQ. Oh God, that's a horrible life. Oh no, that's a horrible. My wife and I are both 139. Genius is 140. That's less than 1%. So we're like bridges.
Hmm.
And then I'm guessing you're right in that range, maybe a little higher.
No
Uh,
idea.
right. But well, we're okay. So I'm based on years of understanding people, I guess I would guess that's what you are, because you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing without a high IQ. It would be impossible.
Hmm.
Because high IQ is pattern recognition. It would be impossible. But when you get like over 150, the 150s can build like funnels and systems and stuff. And they have a hard time with relationships. When you get over 160, I think I've met 2 or 3 people that have families over 160. Um,
Really?
oh yeah,
Wow.
it's really, I simplified IQ. I found let me see if I can find that post.
Hmm.
I can put it in the chat if you want to show it to
Wow.
people.
Yeah.
But here it is.
I love this concept that you shared. Bigger investments,
Here, put it in the chat.
bigger investments in smaller rooms, making bigger impact.
Yeah,
And you used as an example of that your family.
100%.
Can you explain that? Because I thought that was really a great observation.
Thank you. See, learn how to do that. I learned. Okay, so, uh, right. Um, so life is about patterns and then not only learning them, but then creating your own. The key is when you actually learn enough of the pattern that you create your own pattern. That's where the real excitement. Okay. So if you're not a litmus test for people you serve, that's hypocrisy, right? That's hypocrisy.
Love that
You're like
statement.
the ultimate. I mean, good Lord, you're the. If you're not, I mean, I hope. I mean, I honestly pray and hope that the people you serve have not gone through as much as you have, because, like, I
Me
mean,
too.
well, I mean, jeez, no, I don't want anyone to. So okay, so so I'll just repeat what you said. So the my second favorite pattern that has been learned and developed by talking to people like us. So I keep making bigger investments to be in smaller rooms, but the people in those rooms are making bigger impacts. So writing bigger checks to be in smaller rooms,
Hmm.
if you want to call them networking rooms, masterminds, whatever you want to call them. But the people in those rooms are making bigger impact, right? So that allows me to spend biggest investment, biggest check in my family's smallest room where I can make the most impact. So I'm just being a litmus test for people I serve by writing bigger checks to be in smaller rooms, bigger impact. That allows me to spend biggest check, smallest room, family. Okay. And then, so that's the pattern. And then you create your own pattern with it. Just create it own, bigger investment, smaller room, if you want to call it a mastermind or a network room, whatever you want to call it. But the people in those rooms are making the biggest impact, and that scales itself. And then the interesting part is then my wife, who is tired of talking to humans, uh, complaining about their children. So she's phasing out of pediatrics, and she's the COO of the second company, which is called Brepic Network. It's invite-only connectivity platform for visionaries, only for visionaries. And then she's a machine. So she's actually become part of the room that I helped create. She's helping to scale it, and then that allows her to spend more time, biggest investment with our smallest room, family,
Hmm.
which I never expected that. But that's what happens when you actually do something.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah. Man, when you said that, I was like, that's such a great distinction.
Hmm.
Um, the bigger investment, smaller rooms, making bigger impact, and then that smaller room being your family. That was really
Right.
huge. That was
Well,
really
look what's, I mean, again, I'll go back to you, like all the things with your family, just with your family. Um, I mean, so my dad died when I was 13. He was a great American hero. But I know what it's like not to have a dad around. My youngest brother died of drug overdose, so I know what that's like not to have a brother around. So I'm gonna be there for my family. I mean, um, I just had a meeting today with Pure Visionary. Had a massive exit, 8-figure exit. He has 6 children. I'm 46. I would guess he's in his early 40s. And at the end of the meeting, he told me his wife was just diagnosed with cancer
Hmm.
out of nowhere. Um, and um, and then I knew I was going to be doing this interview. So my empathy was already like, so hearing that, Like I understand what life actually is. I don't know. I guess because of the things that have happened and learning from people like you where things have happened and you use that. But I just want to hang out with my family. That's really all I want to do. And then connect people like us to help everyone else. That's all I want to do. There's no intent to ever sell the companies or anything like that. That would be selling purpose of life. I don't even understand that. So I just,
Justin, what I appreciate about that is you say that's all I ever want to do. Well, that's huge. I mean,
that's
that
everything.
changes the world,
100%.
the world, not just your world,
Oh,
as you say.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the distinction that you make about the world versus your world, my world. I love
Yeah,
that. Great
right.
distinction. You know, in the first line in your book, if you don't put family first, put this book down. I can't help you.
Well, what's the point?
Mm.
If you're starting off on the wrong foot and you're going in the wrong direction, then that's not gonna, that's the wrong criterion.
Yeah. So true. Yeah,
Forgetting to
I
use
found that to be
criterion.
very true.
Wow, said the word criterion like 7 times. Haven't done that in a long time. Thank you.
The foundation that was poured for you as a child. How much did that play a
How
part
much did
in
your foundation as a child help you?
a ton?
Okay, so
Did
you had a different foundation, kind of, but it's what you do with the foundation.
It's yeah. And what I call the foundation is the inner game, which is not mindset. Mindset's about 10%. Inner game is everything that makes you up who you are today, your personal beliefs, your values, your constitutions, all of that.
Mm,
And so when I look back at mine, I'm like, man, I can see where it was weak and where the foundation could not support the structure.
hmm
And it was only by going back and building the foundation. Did you ever have to go back and build the foundation? I mean, I know when you
No,
transitioned out of being
no,
a
no,
W-2,
no,
no?
no.
It was already there.
It was already there. I just wasn't conscious of it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it was always there. Again, you're either born like this or you're not. You're not.
Hmm.
No. So job salary cut in half. Couldn't find a job. Reached out to 5,000 people to find first five clients while I was working full time at half salary, and then incorporated 6 days after turning 40 with zero business background. So there was some foundation that was already you can't. Yeah, that just doesn't. That doesn't. It was unconsciously there. I wasn't aware of it until starting because with my mom. My mom was 27 when I was born. Pure hustle, pure. She just posted she was in some event where she had like a booth and something. She was, I don't know, she was doing something. She's wait, I gotta find this. Hold on, this is funny. Where's my message? Where is her message? She just sent this to me. This is so I used to think I had nothing. Oh yeah, she's mom at work in Indy. Can you see this? Can you? Oh wait, hold on. Here, can you see that? There's my mom. So
Oh,
my mom
okay.
posted that photo of her at a ambassador service group. I don't even know what she does, but I think she sells something. But and then she was born in 1949, so people can do the math if they want to. But then I'm like, and so I wrote back to her hustle, and then she wrote back, yep. So I'm like, that's the relationship I had with my mom. It's not like a lovey-dovey, it's like pure hustle. But so I was born with that foundation. And I didn't know that until starting first company. I'm like, oh, I have nothing in common with my mom. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Now it makes now it makes sense. Um,
Hmm.
we were we were at a my mom and I have interesting conversations. We don't talk that much, but when we do, it's kind of interesting. It's like two Asperger's people talking, but I think she has Asperger's or OCD. But
Hmm.
um, so we were at a Halloween parade for the grade school with all the kids dress up, and we were just standing there and we were watching all the parents talking and stuff because like I don't really know how to talk to have like water cooler conversations. So she's like, there's a lot of nice people here, a lot of nice humans. She's like, they're just good people. I go, yeah, they are. They are just to raise their kids well, and which I do too, right? But it was just kind of funny. Like most people don't have that conversation with their mom.
I,
Did you when you were young? Did you with your mom?
my mom was probably one of the kindest, nicest people you've ever met in the world.
That's like my wife.
Really. Yeah. My
I
mom
wonder
was
if your
so
dad
full
was.
of empathy.
I wonder if your dad's still alive.
I don't know.
He had to be a genius or something. Like you just didn't come out of nowhere.
Well, thank you.
Your
I
mom never talked
appreciate that.
about him. Your mom never talked about him?
No, no, she never did. I didn't even know that the person I thought was my dad wasn't my dad until I was a freshman in high school.
Wow.
And then my mom died when I was a
Right.
senior.
Senior, yeah.
For that,
Cancer. Man.
really didn't know anything about him. And no, none of her friends seemed to know anything about him. We have no idea why. But all I can say is this: is somebody said to me one day, she must not have wanted him to ever find you for her
Correct.
to keep that secret. So he must not have been a great person.
Well, it was either that or he was such a genius with a, very damaged brain. That would, I guess he was off the charts high IQ in some capacity.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
That would be my, I mean, your brain, I mean, so people like us usually marry stabilizing humans like your mom and then my wife.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing your dad was more like you. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but that would be my, based on the patterns or the standard, whatever your criteria, like that would be my guess. But and the fact that you never like she obviously purposely kept him away from you.
Right.
So there had to be something going like
Something.
yeah, right. And then I see the world in numbers and keywords. And my favorite is Colby, which we talked about before hitting the record, but KOLBE.com, A index, it measures how brain takes action. So it wouldn't have surprised me if your dad was a 10 quick start.
Hmm.
That's the highest. In human world, a 10 quick start's 1 out of 200 humans. In my world, it's like 1 out of 8 or 9. And a 10 quick start can either be like the greatest entrepreneur on planet, or a pure sociopath. Because there's no breaks. There's none.
Huh.
It's just, and then most people I talk to are 8 or 9 quick starts, which in human world, again, is very rare. In my world, that's like the average. Um, but they
Hmm.
have barely, like just barely some breaks, a 10 quick start.
Mhm.
There's no, you're probably an 8, I would guess. 8 quick start.
Well, since you brought up dad, I wanna acknowledge your dad. I wanna tell you, since I can't tell him, thank you for his service.
Oh, that means a
He
lot.
was
Thank you.
a true world hero, World War
Hero.
hero. World
Hero.
War II, I mean, literally shot down multiple times
Hero.
and got back. I mean, true,
Visionary.
yeah, visionary and hero, absolutely.
Hero.
I'm grateful for his service, but I'm also grateful for your ability to relate that out to the rest of the world,
Mm.
so that we can all learn from that how to
Yeah.
be a hero.
Means a lot. Means a lot to hear that. Um, you know, um, life, we're here for a certain time. And then we're kind of, I think the visionaries understand that their life is here, their actual life is here for a certain time, but then their bridges to the next generations or previous. And with my IQ, I'm a bridge between genius and humans. And then I think with my whatever body or brain, I'm like a bridge between my dad and people knowing about him, but then my dad and my children are more like my dad than I am. They're pure, oh my God, both unemployable. Um, they'll be, I mean, they're heroes, no excuses, action takers. And then my dad, he died when I was 13 and didn't really get to uh, all of the lessons. I didn't really understand them until after he died, and then I keep learning every day because he kept diary of him fighting in World War II. I found that after he died, and then like there's endless lessons in that. And so it's my responsibility. I have conversations with people like us all day, and then I always, or at least I try to talk about, if you have a brain like this, it's your responsibility to use it, because it's rare to have a brain like this. It just, I mean, it is. So it's my responsibility to talk about my dad and the lessons, and then be that bridge between him and the world. And then, as important, if not more important, because litmus test for people you serve, to be that bridge between him and my children. One of them is named after him, and the little guy isn't named after him, but his name means strong in English. In English, Chase is from Hassan, which means strong. So he's just a pure, I mean, oh my God. So to see my dad in them is really interesting, and very grateful for that. And then like they're bigger visionaries than I am, my children. They're 9 and 11. So what they do with whatever I'm doing will be way bigger. And that is very gratifying, very gratifying. And then my advice to them is misdemeanor, okay, felony not. So that's really my entire parenting. Don't really know how to do that. But I do know how to, I guess, teach them flying the plane type knowledge that most people never even see. So, and my wife's like, help them be good in school and have friends and stuff, which is really nice.
That's wild. I mean, yeah, when I read, or when I was listening to you talk about your dad, it's like such admiration, such respect, but also um such such an ability to have an appreciation for someone that you really didn't have that much interaction with beyond,
No.
I mean, young age. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like with my mom, I feel the same way. I just
Man,
feel
your
she's
empathy is
the kindest
holy
person.
cow. Like, cause you can feel, so I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm guessing you're actually very low in empathy for most people. But for people like us, it's like off the charts. So like,
Hmm.
you can feel my pain, and I can feel your pain, and then I can feel you feeling my pain, and you can then feel me feeling your feeling of your pain, and then you can feel my feeling of your feeling of pain. So it like never, so it just, um, um, so we could just keep bouncing that back and forth if you want, but I don't, that's the way I understand in some capacity your pain in some
Yeah.
capacity.
Hmm. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Joe Ingram says, "You're not a human being. You're a brain. You're a human brain."
Joe's a high quick. I think Joe's an 8 or 9 quick start.
Is he?
I think so.
He's a great guy. He's been a member of the Next Level community since its beginning 13 years ago. But he's online. He says,
Oh,
"I love Justin." So
what is Joe's? If Joe took his Colby, I thought he was an 8 or 9.
I don't know, Joe, if
I
you're
met
watching.
him through Ken Walls, and Ken's an
Yeah,
8 quick start.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Ken's a great guy too. Some of those people that we are blessed to have in our sphere are some really good people
Yeah.
to learn from and to experience life with.
Great. Yeah, learn and experience. Good. Good. 2 good words there.
So let me go through this other thing, because I really got a lot out of, in your book Epic Life. What is, Wall Street Journal's bestseller. What is an epic life to you?
Spending time with the family and connecting visionaries to serve humanity.
See, guys, what I want to really draw attention to is that he's very clear on what his epic life looks like, feels like, tastes like, everything else sounds like. And I think it's so easy for him to decide what to do, what not to do based on that.
Criteria.
Yeah, it's a big criteria.
You
And
already said it.
what's that?
You already said the answer.
But I appreciate the fact that you're very clear about it. And when you're coaching someone, or when you're helping somebody try and get to their next level, personally or professionally, right? through your means. What are some of the obstacles you think are holding people back from actually?
No.
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 So you don't talk about their obstacles,
No.
because if they're obstacles,
No.
they're already
No.
limited.
No. No. No.
That's what you're saying, though. They're
Yes.
limited resources, so they don't fit the criteria.
They're their own obstacle. It's a waste of time.
Okay. I appreciate that. Explain this idea of activate, maximize, and achieve.
Well, those are Gallup, GALLUP, Clifton Strength Finders. Again, see the world in numbers and keywords. Most people I talk to are high in ideation and or futuristic. Then they have a mix of activate, maximize, achieve. So they're often future idea world, but they'll do something about it now. They won't, what did you just say? They won't limit themselves. They'll actually do something about it. Okay. So, yeah, they don't. So, and then I'm very low in ideation, but if I hear a great idea, then okay, that's great. Let's do that. So spending time with family and connecting visionaries to serve humanity, that's a great idea. So I'm activating that, maximizing. So 0 to 20, 80 to 100, and then achieve, never stop. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
And you
Yeah.
have an organization that is actually designed and set up to specifically do that, help people.
Well, it's the same pattern. It's the same, right? Because again, bigger investment, smaller room, bigger impact. Create your own smaller room, bigger investment, biggest impact, and then it scales itself. It's just following the answer pattern. And we won't let anyone in who's a limiter because limitless people don't. It's not for business owners. It's not for consultants. It's not for humans. It's connecting visionaries to serve humanity.
So what's the process you go by to help identify a visionary?
Well, that's a lifetime of learning, and I learn something new every day. Again, visionary abundance investment mindset. They have and then the key is they only look at things as investments, not costs. I will say in Colby world, there are some exceptions, but most visionaries are very high quick start, very low follow through. Not all, but most of them are. High quick start means not afraid of risk. Not afraid of risk. And it was really interesting because within our BREPIC network group, we have a thing called a member spotlight. And last week we had a guy who's had an 8-figure and 9-figure exit. He's in his 50s. Most of our members are millionaires, multimillionaires. There's a few that are not, and I only mention that because money is energy. So without energy, you can't really do anything. So, so he is looking to help people, well, not people, but visionaries with their dream exits because he's always looking to keep doing something cooler and cooler. So he had a 10-minute presentation. He's like, all I need from the members is 3 people. We had about 30 people on the call, 30 people. And he's like, all I need is 3 people to volunteer to spend an hour with me to help look at website and help with ideas. And so literally every person within the room volunteered to help him. So we're having another event, or if you want to call it, where he gets to just show his website so we can look at it. That's what it is. So a business owner's they don't think like that. So having a room like that it's just beautiful. It was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I love the idea of at the highest level, there is no competition. There's
no
competition, is what you say, right?
Well, that's what it was. It was people just wanting to help. Because they've already changed their world, or they'll do whatever they can to do that. They just want to change the world and help other people do that. That's what it is. So when you create a room like that, people like that want to be in that room. They'll invest lots of money to be in that room because it eliminates people that limit them. It eliminates them.
Gets rid of all the noise.
The only noise is I can help.
Yeah, I love that. Wow. That's a great process to experience. Once you've experienced it, It's kind of like
There's
connection.
no going back. You don't
Yeah.
go back. You don't go back to the low investment. You don't do that. I don't think you do.
Yeah, I agree. I think, when on my TED Talk, I was talking about connectology, my program. And connectology, I say, there's no drug as powerful as the ability to connect.
No.
Once you have a true connection and you understand, you'll never want anything less than that. Small talk.
No, it's pointless. It's not, well, entrepreneurs are addicts. They're addicts. Visionaries are addicts. So there can be bad addictions, drugs, alcohol, cheating on spouse, overworking. I don't know. What else is there? I don't know. Overeating.
Right.
And then there's good habits, spending time with family and then connecting visionaries. So I'm addicted. Those are habits. Yeah.
It's a nice addiction to have, no doubt.
Right. Good.
Let's talk about Brepic, because Brepic LLC, right?
Yeah, the site, the I guess if you want to call it a mastermind, the company is called Brepic Network. Brepic Network.
Guys, check it out. It's pretty vast in what the opportunity is, and when you've got the right people in the right room at the right time for the right reasons, it's a winner. So if you know anything about my next level by association, it was founded on, creating a group of people that can actually support you in getting to your next level personally, professionally. So Brepic, check it out, guys. It's is there anything you want to say about Brepic?
I guess, I mean, it's more of my wife to talk about that. She's the detail person. I know we're about to be named one of the top 5 masterminds on planet. It's only for visionaries and it's scaling quickly. And our first big in-person event will be in May in Phoenix. The only thing I wanted for that is that we got a suite in an Arizona Diamondbacks game. So that's what, but my wife and partner are planning all the
Nice.
things. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that. It sounds like a great group and a great group of people.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. That I will 100% say. It's the best group of people because I invest over 6 figures to be in the right rooms. And this is by far the best group I've been in because I know they're all there for the right reasons.
Right. Do you know Joe Polish?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Have you ever done anything with his groups?
That's the one I haven't been. I've been in Abundance 360 and in Strategic Coach. I've not been in Genius Network. I know a lot of folks within that, for sure.
Abundance 360 is Peter Diamandis, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. And didn't you went to, he has what, a yearly annual program?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm very grateful he wrote the foreword for Epic Life book as well. So he doesn't usually do.
That's a great forward for sure.
Yeah.
From somebody like him. So as we wrap this up, I just want to open it up for questions because I know we got a few people online, Facebook, and a few people here watching. But then we'll also put this in our Facebook group and we'll put it up on YouTube, and we'll give access to people in different formats. So let's see. Flo, question, comment, thought?
Wow, was just like lightning speed. But
Activate.
it was almost like you two were mirroring. It was just
right.
And I've never seen that before.
That's my whole life. And if it doesn't go like that, it goes horribly wrong. That's my point. So I spent my whole life where people don't understand it. But I got tired of that. So, but you never stop talking like this and then it attracts. So if I don't have a conversation like this, it goes horribly wrong. And without exception, the person will hang up on me. I'll never hang up on anyone, but they'll hang up because they don't understand.
Right. And I've never seen someone communicate with Bob in this fashion. I mean, you guys were just volleying very well.
Makes sense.
So, yeah. It was great to watch. Great to watch. And
well, the right mindset. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then favorite pattern is right mindset attracts right network, creates right opportunities. So our mindsets are mirrored because we understand each other's trauma, and then our empathy is on full alert. And It's not that I don't care about everyone else. It's just I don't even think about it. It's different. But people like Bob, I care about. I most of the time I understand them better than they understand themselves because they've been talking to people that don't understand them.
Right.
And so I can see it, and then just created a room where everyone understands each other, and then they have the capital for the most part to actually really do something about it, which is fun.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for doing what.
Oh, thank you.
How about Alana? How are you today? And you have a comment, question, or thought?
There we go. Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I realized one area that I had gone the wrong direction was my rooms are too big.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I really like that.
Probably not paying enough to be in them.
Okay, got it. Got it. One question is the word intuitive or gut feeling. You hadn't used those terms, but am I assuming that
EQ.
it's what you do all the
EQ.
time? For
Yes.
being a
So
visionary?
I'll put it in the chat. I don't know if you can. Thank you. So Doug Brackman, he wrote the book Driven. It's like the definitive piece on ADD. IamDriven.com. I just put in the chat whatever you do with it, but it measures intuition. So my intuition is like off the charts. But again, that's learned from, you see the same pattern over and over. You just and then I'm actually less bored than an average human, which is really rare. Visionaries are usually really bored because they're ADD, but I'm less bored than an average human because I never leave Zone of Genius ever. Like never. I never get bored of talking like this. So good assessment. IamDriven.com.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Jim Miller, how are you, brother? Question, thought, comment?
Hi, Bob. Oh boy, Justin, it's a pleasure to meet you. I have been enjoying your conversation tremendously.
Thank you.
Trying to think of a good question. I have had the opportunity in my life to work with many really, really smart people. I'm not one of them. I don't consider myself in that realm, but it's really someone who, I think what I am is someone who can bring questions out and get them to think. And I enjoy that process. And one of the things I've enjoyed doing recently, my girlfriend's son is in Mensa.
Yeah.
And he's 25. And I'm been able to sit down with him with a cigar and some single malt scotch and just talk and just get him to talk. And it's been fun. What is it that someone in the genius area, the emotion side is different?
Marry a stabilizing human. My wife is Harmony 1 in Strength Finders. I'm 31 out of 34. Mental geniuses struggle in life. Their IQs are off the charts. They have no human understanding. I have barely human understanding.
So how do I, in my role, maybe help him?
No, he needs to be a stabilizing human. Yeah. Kind human.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I should just relax and enjoy the ride.
You do whatever you want. I'd marry a stabilizing human, a kind, loving person.
Yep, that would be me.
So, well, I don't think he's going to marry you, but
no.
Okay. So, marriage equivalent of you. Yeah. Otherwise, very difficult life.
Interesting. Wow.
Well,
I put the IQ thing in there and in the chat.
Thank you for hopping on, and I hope you took notes. Justin, have a great rest of the day, and everyone get out there, make it a great week, and enjoy your next level.
You've been listening to Your Next Level Now with Bob Donnell. To find out more, call us at 949-542-6398. That's 949-542-6398. Or you can find more information on our website at everythingnextlevel.com. That's everythingnextlevel.com.